Okay guys, so it's the conversation, right? It's all about keto. Ketogenic body, but really ketogenic mind. There's a lot of things that you guys do not consider when you do a ketogenic protocol as you become obsessed with weight loss. It's the state of the freaking gut, right? Are you nutritionally deficient in anything? Because a lot of you guys are. And so you do a ketogenic protocol and you're just waiting for the business and all this kind of stuff, and it doesn't happen. Now this body that I have is not because of genetics. This is because of epigenetics. This is what I'm doing to my DNA, to my own genetics, to my cells, and how they respond to stress. How fast they divide, how slow they divide is all indicative of how I live my life. A lot of you guys don't consider this. So I keep coaching people every day. I have like Facebook groups, keto culture. I've got like my private page, I've got my fan page, and I keep having conversations with people who consistently talk about weight loss. They consistently talk about food, before and after pictures, and people are not getting down to the crux of the problem, which is the broken metabolism that you started with. Now, things started with maybe even while in utero, or chemical exposure, or how much candida your mom had in her vagina while you were born. Like, this is going to affect your genetics. If your mother had was eating carbs, a lot of carbs while you're in your belly, if she was going through gestational diabetes, this is going to affect your growth patterns, your size, your ability to repair. A lot of these things play a huge role. How the state of your mother's health is going to affect your genes. If she's eating carbs, that can create malformation of the cranium and how the teeth fit in the mouth, if you need glasses or not. I mean, it's really, really interesting how genetics or epigenetics work, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, in my family. I'm like, it doesn't matter if you're in your family, if it's something like fibroids, right? Or diabetes or heart disease. It's really how you deal with that. Now, there could be a genetic propensity to have heart disease or to have diabetes or breast cancer run in a family, but it's really how your genes are expressed and how you express your genes. So one of the biggest ways is that sleep is so important. I talk about it all the time. Everybody thinks they sleep deep, but they don't. You guys don't. People don't realize there's levels of sleep. So just because you're at like the third level of sleep and you're knocked out does not mean that you are in enough REM state cycles, which is reparative. And you need to sleep between 10 and 12. A lot of people are like, but I can't. And I'm like, because your cortisol is inverted. A lot of you guys are malabsorptive, nutritionally deficient. This is your immune system, guys. It's not here. It's not there. It's not, it's here in the gut. So you can't necessarily get the business. And I just had a consultation with a woman today, bless her little heart, but she said at the age of 50 that she wanted to get shredded down to 9% body fat in the next year. And she's got horrible histamine intolerance. And I was like, it's not gonna happen. She's like, what do you mean it's not gonna happen? I'm like, it's not going to happen. I said, you got to give yourself 2 years to heal that gut, because everything that she ate, she responded to in a histamine response, in an inflammatory response. So that's quite interesting. So you guys have to get your sleep in order. Like, people are like, well, how do I fix my gut? Or how do I, people aren't absorbing their potassium. People have muscle cramps and they have heart palpitations on keto. They're constantly thirsty, constantly dehydrated, no matter how much they drink. So their sodium potassium balance is off. Guys, you need to fix your shite. Stop pushing your body to the limit. Stop taking diuretics like caffeine if you have problems with your potassium. Yes. That potassium absorption is very critical with keto people, because your electrolytes tend to kind of go down the urine when you're dropping all that water, because for every 1 gram of carbs that you eat, your body holds on to 2.8 grams of water, which instantly flushes out of you. And people have poor liver and kidney detoxification, so that's also a problem. I know, but all of these things are fixable. And do not get it twisted. Girl has got some energy, energy, energy. I'm so excited. Such a beautiful day outside in California. But I wanted to talk about these subjects. Somebody said, oh, I missed the old Stephanie, you're so serious. And I'm like, I'm not serious. Right underneath the layer, I'm all about bursting with energy and really excited about all these things that I'm learning. But I'm just having the conversation about potassium, malabsorption, leaky gut, how this affects everything, your mood, depression, feeling dehydrated, the muscle cramps. People keep having muscle cramps. These are things to consider in your keto adaptation, things that have to get fixed as you're trying to adapt. Now, you can do a ketogenic protocol to fix these things, but then the application of it has to be incredibly strict or it won't work. So this is just a video reminding you to understand your potassium balance. You may not be getting enough potassium, which is very important. You could have poor kidney and liver detoxification, which is huge. It's another big reason why you guys don't do well on keto is because you're not methylating, you're not detoxing very well. And so when you're trying to understand why your glucose is so high or why your numbers look good but you're still tired, it's because of these things we do not consider. And I'm always talking about the adrenals, and I'm always talking about like pregnenolone steal and like cortisol robbing from your sex hormones and men, why you can't build muscle. There's a lot of things to consider, but a lot of it starts with sleep. A lot of people are like, oh my God, well, what do I drink on keto? I'm like, water? I mean, water? I know a water source sucks, but I mean, start with water. But yes, just wanted to some healthy reminders of what to think about when doing a ketogenic protocol, why you don't adapt, why you don't sleep, why you have inverted cortisol, that anything that's stressful to the body can affect your sleep patterns, and you have a difficult time to get into REM state cycles. A lot of you guys wake up in the middle of the night, sometimes around 12, sometimes around 2, and some of you guys wake up at 4 and then you just can't sleep. And then when you do go back to sleep, you wake up at 8. That's when your cortisol is too high, and then it drops and you have cortisol too low. That's adrenal insufficiencies. So these are just some reminders of things to consider on your ketogenic journey, that you have to fix these things before you adapt. There's a reason why I'm strict, and it's because you guys are not adapting, because you're not considering all of these things, your metabolic damage, why you gain weight on keto. So don't forget, I'm coming to New York City, the NYC, November 12th, 2016. Go to my website for tickets. I'm having an amazing seminar. I'm going to do a really large Q&A. I will also be doing a live broadcast for those who cannot be in the NYC. Be looking out for that. I'm also going to add workouts to my whole philosophy and lifestyle, and things to consider along with nutrition, because they all go hand in hand. You guys need to learn how to work out properly. I don't know how many times in my consultations I'm changing people's workout methodology, and then they finally adapt. Bink. So if you want to learn more, go to stephanieperson.com. Stephanie the Business Person on my Facebook fan page, Stephanie Ketogenic on my Instagrammy, Steph the Business on my Periscopes, which I do live broadcasts anyway, Q&As, but it's really messy because so many people chime in and like make comments and trolls. But it's still a good way to ask questions, or the live broadcast, which you have to have a Facebook page for that. You can also go to my Facebook page, which is Stephanie the Business Person. You can also go to Stephanie Ketogenic on my Instagram. And that's enough social media for me. My ass is too old for this at 49. This is the business, and this is what keto can do. 9 years in ketosis, well, almost 9. I'm going to peace out.